Welcome, everybody. All right. I believe you can see me and hear me. Happy March 23rd. I just saw a number sequence that I've been seeing a lot, and it is part of my codes. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see if I can switch this off. Okay. And let me share this just for kicks, just to see. I forgot. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Awesome. Oh, this is so funny. In my last report. Oh, am I still there? I'm sorry. Am I still here? Yes, I'm still here. I shared a little bit about my personal reality with social media and stuff. Not working. 3 of them were not working, and so my one of my parents was also experiencing that, and so he brought up it's probably the internet, and so we decided to upgrade, and that's what we did today. And so there we go, we have a new internet service, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit about, I do have a couple things that I want to share. Part of what we will experience is technology hiccups, technology not working the way that we would like or we were used to. I know we're also in Mars retrograde, and it is known to, I'll say this, it's known to bring up a lot of things that are not in alignment. So you will go through technology hiccups so that we can review, evaluate, right, feel deeper, and see where it's highest to upgrade. And this has been something actually that has come through, or that was coming through. I don't know how long ago, maybe months ago, and because we hadn't been noticing that the internet would slow down significantly towards the end of the month. And so we were kind of looking at different options and stuff like that. And so when this happened, it actually was a beautiful gift that allowed us to upgrade, change services. And so I am testing that right now. Okay, so there we go. So welcome everybody to this Ascension report for it's March 23. I know for me it'll be March 24th pretty soon. And as always, there is lots going on. Thanks. Lots going on, lots of shifts, lots of changes. Lots of newness. There's a lot of newness that will continue to come up, come out, that will continue to be very prevalent from now and forever. This is a forever. It will continue to be this way. Lots of changes, lots of newness, lots of physical body stuff. When we hit the physical body, when you're starting to feel the physical body clearing, cleansing at a deeper and deeper and deeper level, just remember that this is super supportive because you are now hitting the cellular clearing. We're hitting DNA clearing as well, and upgrading and activating at a deeper level than ever before. And so while it is a bit, what's going on? Oh my God, you're uncomfortable. It's scary. It's painful. And that's because it will trigger all of your deepest, most suppressed, most unconscious wounds, fears, insecurities, lack, you name it. Part of what we've been, and I could probably say this right now, like most of us have been living within the, what am I trying to say? We've been living quite oblivious to all of these deeply suppressed emotions and energies and aspects. Okay. That is no longer going to be the way to live, right? This passageway, and it's not just a year, it's not just this year, it's forevermore. However, things will intensify very rapidly. Things will accelerate for the rest of the decade because it's time to open up more. It's time to become more. It's time to clear more. It's time to see more. It's time to remember for more. It's time to remember more things. And so we will continue to see a lot of things. And remember that with everything that you see, there will always be some sort of energy, emotional energy for the most part, that will accompany that you will have to feel. The emotion is very important to honor. Doesn't matter what it is. The energy of the emotion is really, really important to continue to feel, to continue to honor, to continue to sense. Remember that every emotion has an energetic. Interesting. Has an energetic signature, has an energetic, that's a frequency, right? And so every single emotion that you allow yourself to feel opens up a myriad of realities that are being held by that emotion that are not highest aligned. So this is why it's really, really important to continually honor your emotions, honor what you're feeling, honor what you are being activated, or what's being activated through what you're seeing, what your reality looks like, because those emotions are what are holding your reality in place. And I'm talking about the heavy emotions. When I talk about emotions, it's mostly the heavy ones. Okay, when I talk about love, when I talk about joy, when I talk about peace, that's part of your essence. So I don't normally talk about those as emotions. That's your pure essence. That's your pure energy. That's who and what you are. Okay. An emotion, a heavy emotion, I'll throw it in just so that you're not, doesn't bring a lot of confusion. The heavy emotions is are these are what are being activated more and more and more and more and more. And remember that through this process, as we continue to evolve, as we continue to activate more of our DNA, we will continue to feel things. We will continue to feel emotions. Okay. What's been interesting lately is that you'll hit levels within your journey where an emotion, aka the heavy emotions, won't need a physical release like before. They'll still need a release and you'll still need to honor them, but it's almost like, or sometimes they shift very quickly. And so it's just an energy. It's just like wind, like it just dissolves. It's like blowing on a candle. You blow it and it just fades. It's not as daunting. It's not this, it's not a physical release anymore. It's quite cool. Although sometimes it'd be like, oh, I don't need to cry anymore. What? What's wrong? Something wrong with me? Um, because it's been interesting to go through that journey, but I know that it is part of the process. And so when I hit those phases where it's like, oh no, you're good. Then you don't need to cry anymore. You don't need to, you know, do whatever you're used to doing. The energy will shift very quickly. It's um it's a nice it's a nice newness for a change. And so this isn't to say that you'll never cry. This isn't to say that you're never going to get angry or you're never going to have to throw a fit and really get that energy, get the emotional energy moving in a physical way. This isn't to say that because you will hit phases where you will need to do that. But you will also hit phases where an emotion will shift very, very quickly. And so just opening you up to this newness, this new phase. But it's super duper important for you to continually honor those phases where you do need to feel um, deeper levels, where you'll have to really get that energy physically moving. Just checking up here on the chat. So we'll shift gears. I wanted to talk a little bit about the birthing process, as I've been feeling it quite tangibly for the last, I don't know how long, but it's been a few days now, where stomach just like blows up. And I read someone else talk about how they've been feeling this too. And our 3D linear mind calls it bloating. However, it's part of your birthing process. I've heard some people call it Buddha belly. Um, and I know I've heard I feel like I've heard birthing, new earth. There was something there's I used to say something else, but I can't remember exactly what it was that I used to say, that I used to call it. Anyway, you literally feel like you're bloated. You feel you look like you're pregnant sometimes, and you might have also pregnancy symptoms as well. And this doesn't matter if you are in a female body or if you are in a male body, because you will still feel it. This is universal. Um this is both genders. Like, you will go through birthing sensations. As you continue to birth new aspects of yourself, birth higher self, your higher self soul aspects, when you're also about to birth new realities, higher realities, um, it's actually quite normal. And this is part of the expansion, right? That it's literally it's very similar to how um birthing is, right? Everything starts to dilate, everything starts to expand right before, right, the baby starts to come out. Everything has to get bigger, right? This is a portal, this is a passageway that allows this miracle, right? This newborn to come out of the womb space and into the world. So we're going through that dilation, we're going through that opening. Our new realities are going through that passageway right now, and everyone is going to experience this differently. So, March feels like that passageway. April feels like a lot of newborn energy will come through. Newborn, um, newness, new reality, birthing. Like that, this coming month feels like the birthing will be much more tangible. Right now, this whole month actually has been so huge, in many, many, many ways. And I've talked a little bit about that in my last video about some of the things that I experienced early this month, with the going down, with the clearing, with the allergy sensation, the flu-like sensation, the fever-like sensation, the sore throat. I was also going through a lot of third eye forehead pressure, um, like never before. And it was just like constant. As soon as I hit evening, as soon as I finished my classes, it was like boom, boom. It was uh, very present. The discomfort, the pain was very present. Um, those were kind of like the big main things. There's always something. There's always something, and somehow there's a lot of things that happen so naturally, that it happened to me for so long, that sometimes I don't share a lot because it's just so normal for me now. Right? Like the sharp pains, the um sharp pains, or the needle-like pains that you'll feel in any part of your body, in all parts of your body. The we'll have the chest pains, we'll have the stomach pains, we'll also have like the womb and the root, a lot of root sensations too. Um, all of those come up all the time, right? And the more that you open up, the more that you honor, the more that you surrender, the more that you do not let your fearful mind take over and resist it, the easier it is for you to accept it and just allow it as many times as it as needed, as many times as it comes. Because now you'll start to shift out of your old 3D linear mind into the higher mind. And the higher mind will continually remind you that it's okay. You're okay. You're not in any threat. You're super supportive beyond measure. You are extremely loved. Your body's doing everything that it needs to do to release you, right? To free you, to expand you, to awaken you, um, to support you in ascension, in ascending and expanding and having one of the most having a more magical experience. And so that's the dissociation that sometimes we kind of forget or that it takes over. That in order to create this beautiful magical reality, in order to experience more peace, you have to go through the growing pains and the birthing labor. I love how um, I've seen maybe just a handful of shows. Um, this podcast, it's called the Next Level Soul Podcast. And I love it because I love that. I love that in like the 2 or 3 last recent episodes that I've watched, he brings up the birthing process, like the physical, you know, birthing, baby birthing process, because that is exactly what's happening right now. And I love that he uses that analogy because it's so supportive and it's so true, right? Whenever a baby is about to be born, it's painful. Like there's a lot of things that, women feel. There's a lot of discomfort. It's quite comical because in one of those, he'll say, imagine if someone from another planet would come and see the birthing process, like the labor. He'd be probably terrified if something wrong is happening and something bad's occurring to this person, to this woman. And yet it's a baby being born, right? As soon as the baby's out, or whenever that is, there's this there's a sense of relief, there's a sense of gratitude, there's a sense of awe, there's a sense of miracle. There is so much that, for the most part, just generally speaking, we feel, after the actual birth, baby, newborn comes out. But the process that it takes to actually get there, there's some discomfort there, right? There's a discomfort. And it's so interesting how that will also evolve. I've been personally kind of feeling deeper into this and just knowing that everything will shift, knowing that absolutely everything is changing. I see, feel, sense that this process, which to the linear mind can be quite traumatic, will shift. This process and any other process that deals with the physical body. Obviously, ascension also feels very traumatic to the linear mind, to the ego, which is part of the reason why it has a difficult time. This is part of the reason why a lot of people are going berserk, because they really don't understand what's going on. And it can be quite traumatic. The biggest thing is to continually open yourself up, continually feel deeper levels of this process, so that we no longer have to suffer or feel like we're suffering through this. So again, I feel everything will change. I feel like everything will become a lot softer. Everything that we feel is really hard and challenging, and it's all changing. Right now, we're in the verge of so much change. And again, I'd like to just kind of remind people that this will take, years. A lot of things will happen, but it will accelerate our expansion of consciousness, because consciousness doesn't expand overnight. Like, it can expand overnight if you have like a spontaneous awakening, or a spontaneous expansion. Okay. But then the embodiment comes, and that's a huge part of the process. And it's a deeper part of the process, and it takes longer. So while things can change overnight, can change in a split second, the maintenance required for those changes takes energetic time, which is perceived as linear time. It takes a lot, which is part of the reason why we're in this acceleration period right now, because there's so much that needs to continually occur in order to push so much out of us. This birthing process, okay, if you have been feeling it recently, if you felt it before, or if you might be new to this in the next month, whatever, or just in this year, know that that's a huge part of this process. The mind gets really wrapped up with the physical body appearance, right? The feeling like nothing fits, or just feeling really, really quote unquote fat, or feeling like you're pregnant, or, all of these different things. And yet your body knows exactly what is going on. Your linear mind doesn't. Your linear mind will always bring up this fear and bring up this something's wrong. This, I shouldn't be feeling like this, or this shouldn't be happening. This isn't healthy. And I want to remind you right now that everything you thought was healthy at some level was not. It was misperceived at some level. Everything is changing now. So what we may think is unhealthy, when you feel like, oh my God, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm going through whatever, there's so much more happening inside of your body that you may not be fully conscious of yet. But Your body knows more than your linear mind, and your body knows exactly what to do. So, allowing yourself to continually release all of those old perceptions, the old, linear mindsets of what's healthy and what's not, of what's good and what's bad, of what's right and what's wrong, have to continually dissolve in order for you to continually honor this process. Super, super important, because nothing ever was as we thought, and everything continues to change. And the biggest and most powerful thing right now is that we're finally physically feeling it. And everything must come out, everything must clear, everything must open, everything must come to the surface for you to see and feel. And that's one of the biggest things. So, I might do this, keep it short for those that may have come in and popped in. Thank you. If you are here, if you're still here, thank you as well. I know it's a little later, but we'll just go with the flow whenever we're able to do this and push to do this. And we are. There's a lot in the. Remember that everything needs to expand. Everything needs to open. And when something opens, or as something opens, it starts to open up, it starts to expand more and more and more. So really feel or see, if you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of filled up garbage bags in your home, and you only have one door, we'll say the front door of your house, to take these garbage bags out, it's gonna take some time. However, when the door starts to expand, so imagine the door getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you have more assistants to help you, all of these garbage bags that need to come out of you, aka heavy emotions, toxins, right, distortions, they're going to be able to come out faster. So everything in your body right now, one, is opening, and two, is expanding. So more and more and more things can be released. And this is also important because, well, what I'm about to say is also important. We feel like we have to do this all by ourselves, or we have to do this with this in mind. Like, we have to know what to do. We have to get things done in a certain way. It's almost like a lot of us feel like, just so visualize you're in this house with hundreds of garbage bags filled with trash, filled with garbage that need to be released from your home. A lot of us feel that we're the only ones that can do this job, or we're the only ones that are able to do this job. It would take a longer time for one person to get that many bags out of your house, right? It's obvious. And one of the biggest things to open up to is right now, we are receiving an enormous amount of light support, meaning this light is coming through into your body, coming through into your energy field to further support you in clearing all of these garbage bags out. You're not alone in this, and you do not have to do this through this. It's time to bring yourself back into the body. Breathe and let your light support you more and more, deeper and deeper. Because there will be things that your light and only your light will need to do, will know what to do. And again, that has been also the challenge for a lot of us, where it's like we feel like we need to know everything. We feel like we need to know how to do everything. We keep trying and trying and trying, and which is part of the reason why it's taking longer, because we're in our own way. Because we're still in this lack mentality, and we feel like we have to do everything, and we have to know how to do everything, and we have to do it by ourselves. And we have to continually open up to this is no longer, it's at some level, we need to let go of this sense of control. We need to continually open up for the floodgates of light to come through and do the heavy lifting and the heavy clearing and the deep cellular DNA clearing. This isn't to say that, oh, you're just gonna, chill and not do anything and ever. The biggest thing is that as you continue to step back, honor the sleep phase, honor the resting phase, honor the physical clearing, the emotional clearing journey, you will be supporting your light, your higher self body way more than if you keep doing things the other way, of just continuing to try and continuing to feel like you have to do this. You have to do everything. Like, yes, you do everything, but you don't do it as an ego, because the ego has no idea what it's doing. The ego will never know. That's not how we programmed the ego. Okay. So as soon as we start to notice and recognize and realize this, we open ourselves up for a higher self, higher mind, light consciousness, light support. This is a version of ourselves that is meant to do all of these, meant to do the deeper clearings and deeper releases, deeper reprogramming, deeper anchoring, deeper everything. Let your light support you and start to feel deeper levels of where you're still hanging on, holding on, resisting, trying, fighting, controlling. Just open yourself up to that, to the possibility that you are doing it. Because the linear mind gets so caught up and becomes so stubborn, doesn't even open up to the possibility that that's actually happening. So as soon as you open yourself up and you start to feel, and you just start to engage play with the question, play with the possibility that this might be happening, you start to open yourself up a little bit more. Okay, what if I am? What if I am trying too hard? What if I'm making it harder for myself? What if I'm getting in my own way? What if this isn't as hard as I thought, right? What if I'm just complicating things? Now, where have I been complicating things? And just allowing yourself to feel deeper levels of that. Because, by the way, that's a huge key. That is a huge key that you will allow yourself to not only receive, but also utilize so that everything starts to open up for you. So that everything starts to open up. There's a lot to this subject, actually. There is a lot that every single one of us have to feel in terms of abandonment, in terms of lack, feeling alone, feeling deserted, feeling like, right, I'm all alone, feeling like I have, like, this is too much, I'm doing it all by myself. There's a lot of that energy deeply ingrained in our system. And how do you clear? How do you support your body in clearing all of it? By going through the energy and feeling absolutely everything in a more conscious way, so that you can go through that tunnel, that passageway of just deep, 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 deep heaviness and come out the other side. That makes sense? A lot of the linear mind will always want to resist and will always want to step back from feeling things. But that keeps all this energy alive. So starting to slowly step into this energy, step into the emotions, step into everything. You're going through your light, with your light. There's a lot of different, tips and stuff that will support. But as you continue to, as you breathe and connect deeper with your light, as you step deeper into this passageway, you're going to be able to come out the other side a lot faster and a lot bigger. So, super important, because I know a lot of us are going through a lot, and I know that we forget a lot of things. But the other day, what came through was it's so easy to it's so easy to forget, but it's just as easy to remember. And the easiest way to remember is by just closing your eyes and connecting to your breath. It's not complicated and it's not hard. And if we have accepted it that it is, or we have believed that it is, and we have to really connect to that aspect that doesn't want to make it easy, doesn't want to make it simple. So bringing you back into your body, allowing yourself to take a deep breath with me. Bringing you back to simpleness, simplicity, pureness, purity. So that you can remember that you're not alone. Never have, never will be. But in order to anchor more of that energy, you do have to feel it. And it's everything. It's uncomfortable and it is painful. But it's worth it. And that's part of why we're here. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in this space. And until I come out again, have an amazing rest of everything. I know this is we're coming into the last week. Oh my goodness. Last week of March, and then we have this last eclipse. So amazing and just so crazy how things continue to speed up. So sending you much love, huge hugs.